Okay, here we are. Welcome to First Sundays. My name is Sarah McLean, and it is Cinco de Mayo. But before we celebrate Cinco de Mayo, here we are going to meditate together. And there's some beautiful resonance that's created when we're meditating in a group, whether we're sitting miles and miles apart or continents apart. There's a resonance that's created in this group. And I like to invite you to, if you want to, there's a few of us with our cameras on, take a look around and see who's here. And imagine that we're sitting in a circle, sitting maybe cross-legged or in a chair, in a circle, a big, large circle that encompasses all the points on this planet where we are. And if you'd like to close your eyes and imagine that each one of us is lit up, that we're lit up from our heart centers. And we kind of sit in this glow of a circle together, abiding in peace and abiding in presence. Taking this mindful moment now, you can keep your eyes closed if you like, but I am going to give a little bit of instruction to those of you who are new to meditation. Meditation, as you know, encompasses so many practices that are ancient and modern, practices that are popular, and practices that are brand names, trademarks. Meditation refers to a whole variety of practices, whether they're Christian or Jewish or Muslim or non-denominational. The word meditation also refers to a state that we get into when we're practicing one of these techniques. Most of the techniques are designed to settle your nervous system, reduce stress, and expand your awareness. And most of these practices will allow for you to transcend the world of form and phenomenon that you are surrounded by and the ever-changing activities, news, conversations, all these things, and help you to transcend this world of form and phenomenon and move into the deep peace that already exists within you. So today's meditation is going to be a very simple one, but we will include something that's called self-inquiry. Now, self-inquiry is a practice that we do, and I'll walk you through it as we're doing it, where you simply ask yourself a question. You ask yourself a question silently, and you sit in the silence rather than mentally trying to come up with an answer. You know, we've talked about this in other meditation conversations where there's a writer named Rainier Marie Rilke who wrote Letters to a Young Poet years ago. He was writing to people who were seeing things a different way, artists in general. And he would say, you know, live the questions, live the important questions. Don't rush to answering them and then saying it's over and not question again. And some of the most important questions are things like, why am I here? What is this life? Why is this happening? Will I ever be peaceful? Will I ever feel successful? Will I feel loved? Questions like these are beyond Googling, let's just say, or looking it up on Safari or Brave. These questions are not for anyone to answer, but they are for you to ask. And just because we don't always have the immediate answer doesn't mean the question shouldn't be asked. And this is true in every case. This is the great mystery, isn't it? What is animating that body of yours? You know, how long are we going to be here on this planet? And how can I best use my talents to serve? So these questions activate an intelligence, especially when we invite them into a meditation. They activate the intelligence that's internal to each one of us. This intelligence that I like to call the wise one. Some people call it the soul or your essence. Before we start our meditation, I want to share with you what happens when you you meditate for a while and what you become is soul-centered. I'm going to show you the name of my book because this morning really don't read it very often. I probably should, but I wrote it 12 years ago. And for anyone who's an astrologer, 12 years ago, whatever was happening then is this return of this planet Jupiter is going to create a similar vibration in your life right now, whatever that means to you. My editor recently passed away. His name was Bill Gladstone, and he was my agent, actually. And last night, when I returned from Sedona, when I was guiding a retreat, his wife called me and he had passed away and asked me to speak and guide a meditation at his memorial. That was 12 years ago that he and I put this book out there. So I thought maybe I could read you something that's important to me. It's about what being soul-centered is. It's a word I coined, which now there's another beautiful book in the Hay House library called Sovereign. It's very similar. I realized they're very, very similar definitions. I came up with the word soul-centered to describe a particular shift in perspective, a transformation of the vantage point for your life. When you're soul-centered, you're not dependent on others for your sense of self or worthiness. Instead, you're guided by an inner reference point. You're open to all possibilities and approach life courageously and fearlessly, without resistance or clinging, offensiveness or defensiveness. You can focus your attention where and when you want to, easily and without distraction. You have a receptive awareness, and your natural state is relaxed, calm, peaceful, and loving towards yourself and others. When you are soul-centered, your attention is anchored in the present moment. As you receive the moment, welcome the moment, you accept things as they are. You don't struggle against what's happening now or at any time. You realize that at all times you are safe and loved no matter what. You have a deep inner wisdom and knowingness, make decisions easily, and are confident as you journey on your own path. What you think, feel, say, and do are all integrated and in alignment with your deepest truth. When you're soul-centered, your nervous system is stable yet flexible no matter what occurs in your life. You can handle it. If for some reason you're thrown off balance by a thought, experience, or difficult emotion, you quickly realize it and are easily able to regain your center point of peace. You trust yourself and feel safe and confident wherever you go and whatever you do, no matter who does or who does not approve of you, no matter what anyone thinks of you, or no matter what they say you should or shouldn't do. You are the self-sufficient navigator of your own path, yet you feel interconnected with all beings. You have compassion for all, including yourself. You feel in communion with your life and enjoy nature's support, sensing the love that surrounds you, the love that makes you up, and you may feel closer to God, the creator of the universe. How do you become soul-centered? The best way I've found is through the practice of meditation. So that was just an excerpt from the definition of soul-centered, but I do feel like we need it now more than ever as we're bombarded with news that can make us sway and feel off center and off course. So let's review one thing, or what I call one thing, but it's the 5 essentials, which are really 5 essentials about meditation. First, when you close your eyes to meditate, it's very common to have thoughts. It's almost as if your interior gets more amplified. So your job in meditation is to notice when you're starting to daydream or to do your to-do list or think about other people, places, and things while you're right here. So when you notice that, your job is to come back to this moment, to whatever the practice is that we're doing. And the second essential is to be kind to yourself, all the while. Spend no bandwidth beating yourself up. So thoughts are okay, just come back. Don't beat yourself up, be kind. Third, don't try to have an experience you're not having. Instead, welcome the experience you're having. The itch on your nose, the sounds in the environment, the tummy rumbling. Welcome everything and resist nothing if possible. Fourth, begin with a beginner's mind, a mind that's free from preconceived notions about how this is going to go. Okay, just let everything be as it is without expectation. And lastly, let's stick with the practice. So we'll begin now getting comfortable. We'll begin with a body awareness practice. We'll move into a self-inquiry practice, and then we'll move into a mindful breath awareness. So I invite you to sit comfortably, and you can close your eyes. Some people prefer to keep their eyes open and gazing softly to the ground or their hands. And let's begin this practice by thinking about what it is that you hope meditation will give you, why you are here today. Everybody's here for a different reason. Some people are here because they want to feel good again, or they're going through something challenging, or they simply love a community of meditators, or they need a good meditation today. Whatever it may be, just acknowledge your intention, your resolve for being here today. And then begin to give yourself some deeper breaths through your nose. Breathing in slowly and deeply, and breathing out slowly and fully at your own pace. 3 long, slow, deep breaths at your own pace. This sends a signal to your body that it's okay to relax. As it activates the vagus nerve, and then allowing your breath to return to its natural rhythm and depth. Invite your body to soften and relax. As you begin now to notice the sounds around you, welcoming everything with this mindful awareness and resisting nothing. Noticing sounds that are around you that seem far away. Noticing how you might judge some sounds as pleasant or unpleasant. And aim to refrain from preferences as we do this practice. Welcoming sounds that are closer. Noticing how some sounds seem constant while others seem to come and go. Welcome them all. Refraining from the need to identify the source of the sound. Simply instead listen to the sounds of the sounds. There's a saying, to lose your mind and come to your senses which simply refers to the fact that sounds are happening now. Whatever you are noticing is happening now. There's no need to think about it other than to notice it. As you notice some sounds arise from the silence, return to the silence, like the sound of my voice. You may even notice that you can hear some internal sounds, such as the sound of your breath or your tummy rumbling. Again, simply welcome everything like it's a soundscape. And now we'll begin to pay attention to this, the sense of sight, even if your eyes are closed. Simply notice what is coming through into your vision, whether it's the light coming through your eyelids, some colors you might see behind the eyes, or if your eyes are open, simply noticing shadow and light and shapes. Again, refraining from the need to identify or judge, simply notice. This is an awareness journey, not a sound journey, not a thought journey. So we're going to tune into sensation now. As you notice what it feels like, what you feel like sitting here, the space around you, your feet on the floor if they are, noticing the clothing on your skin, the air on your skin. Inviting your body to relax just a little more as you breathe naturally. Noticing the way the body responds to the breath. The rise and fall of the chest or the shoulders. The movement of the air in and out of the lungs, in and out of the nostrils. Inviting your belly to soften as you sink into the support of the chair or cushion below you. You don't have to try and sit here. You're simply sitting here. So letting go of any struggle. Letting your attention encompass your entire body. Feeling the gentle swaying, perhaps, or stillness. noticing where you begin and end. Perhaps you feel your existence far beyond the edges of your skin. And drawing your attention now to the movement of the chest, the rise and fall of the breastbone. We'll begin to ask ourselves a few questions silently. You can repeat the question a few times and then return to the silence. The first question is, who am I? Who is this one sitting here? Ask yourself a few times. And don't make anything up. Simply ask and be comfortable with not knowing or the stillness itself. Who am I? Some people hear an answer to the question in the meditation, while others hear nothing, and both are perfectly natural. The question can be answered in the form of a thought, a feeling, a word, a vision. As you now ask yourself another question, what is my heart's desire? What is my heart's desire? What do I long for? And the last question for the self-inquiry in this practice is, how can I best love myself? How can I best love myself? Letting all the questions go and any answers that may have met them. Invite your body to relax once again. Begin to bring your attention to your breath as you breathe naturally. As we practice mindful breath awareness, you might notice variety of sensations, inhaling and exhaling and pausing. Simply tune in with curiosity and kindness to the natural movements of your breath. Perhaps you notice the cool air on the inhale, the warmed breath as you exhale. Perhaps you're tuning into the pauses between each breath. If the mind wanders, come back here, letting your breath charm you, letting this moment charm your attention. We'll practice like this for a little while. I'll keep track of the time. If you're waiting for something to happen, let this be like any other thought and come back to this breath. So keeping your eyes closed, simply rest in awareness. Abide in peace. And stay in communion with your GPS, your inner GPS, your inner knowing and intelligence. Perhaps you bring to mind your original intention for being here today. And imagine that you already have what you're looking for. You already have what you want, at least a little bit. And always take your time before opening your eyes. First, open them with a downward gaze, if you like. Resting, not losing your sense of self or centeredness. And then when you feel like opening your eyes all the way, I invite you to do that. Always taking your time coming out of meditation, as we don't always know how deep we went. And our opinion really doesn't matter, because the truth is, sometimes you don't know how deep you were until you come out of it. That restful, timeless experience is called transcendence. And that's really touching the deepest part of you. So I like to close the meditation, bringing my hands together in Anjali Mudra, and appreciating this moment and myself for taking this time, as I invite you to do the same, appreciating yourself for taking this time to create a ripple effect of peace on this planet. Or creating that ripple effect of peace in your own mind and heart. And honoring those of you who practice with me, and honor those of us who practice with you. Thank you for being here and glowing in this circle of peace. It's certainly something the world needs, and that I need, and I imagine you need it too. Now, the meditations, or the questions I should say, that we asked ourselves in meditation are: who am I? What is my heart's desire, or what do I long for? And how can I best love myself? Now, whether you received an answer in the meditation or not, these are good questions to ask yourself. And you can continue to live the questions. For instance, who is the one sitting here? Who am I in this conversation? What is it that I truly want? And it's not selfish to ask these questions, because you're the only one who can answer them. And so when you love yourself and keep your cup full, let's say, you have a lot more to give someone else. So I'm going to stop the recording now. Thank you for those of you who listened to this meditation. Maybe you can come back first Sunday and join us live.